Hello, welcome back to my channel. Today's book review is Hour of the Witch. I had to pack away the physical copy of this novel, but I'm going to put the book cover up for a few minutes just so everyone can get the feel of the book cover. I actually like it. It's simple, but it gets the point across about what the story is about, at least to people that read historical fiction and know the attire of Puritan clothing. So this is set in the 17th century in Boston, and it follows Mary, who is married to an abusive man, and after he assaults her, she tries to get a divorce, but that doesn't happen, even though there was a lot of evidence to suggest that she was being abused. So then after a while, she is deemed to be a witch. I was actually really excited because my third book is about Puritanism and religious abuse, and this book is basically the same thing, though mine actually has some magic in it. Mary isn't a witch. She doesn't practice witchcraft. She doesn't do anything like that. It's just showing the history of how easy, really, how easy it was to be deemed a witch during the 1600s and even into a bit of the 1700s if you were a Puritan. Oh, especially a woman. Yeah. There were male witches that were tried and hanged, but I would say 90% were women, and that's noted in the novel, a specific section, and I thought that was really interesting to add because most people just think 100% of the time it's women, and we always forget about the men that were killed during the Salem witch trials and why that came to be. It wasn't just that one man that was stoned to death, or the man that had all of these big rocks stacked on him during the Salem witch trials, that then he died. There were also others that were killed because they were witches or related in some way to witches. But Mary and her family, well, actually Mary and her parents went over to Boston to do trading, also because they just believed in Puritanism. Her brothers stayed in England, and during this whole time I'm like, Mary, you need to go back. Mary, you do not belong here. No, you do not. You're too progressive in a way that, like, the 1600s you're progressive, which is the same amount what you would get in England. So why she went over with her parents, I don't know, other than the fact that during this time the women were owned by their male relative. That's probably why she went over, because her father said, you're going over. But she had a suitor, and that was just a bummer that she didn't get to marry someone that she wanted to and to stay in England, but, you know, I digress. And so she marries a really abusive man that's way older than her because it was advantageous, because he's rich. Her family's rich. I'm just like, you know, more rich. You want to be more rich, so you hand her off to, like, someone 25 years older than her. Yeah. It's not gonna work. I wasn't feeling it. She wasn't feeling it. And that is a bit of the contention, and, like, just simple questions or answers result in abusive behavior. And I'm just sitting there reading this book, and it's not even 400 pages. I'm just like, go back to England. Sneak on a boat, a ship, whatever, go back, because this isn't gonna go well for you. Of course, we knew that it was going to, because in the summary, it says that she's going to be accused of witchcraft and go through that whole process. Now, I did give it 5 out of 5 stars. I like reading. about the history of the Puritans, and I actually am a bit hopeful that maybe there's going to be more books regarding Puritan historical fiction. It used to be a thing quite some years ago. When I started writing my book, it was a huge thing, especially like a young, rebellious woman, or just like a normal woman that decided to ask a few questions, God forbid, and then she's accused of witchcraft. But that dipped, and it took probably 8 years for it to come back, and this novel I think is a resurgence, and I'm really excited about that because I don't know why, I'm just really fascinated with rebellious or just normal women during very heightened religious movements that are very, very repressive, and especially to women but also to the men, and how they're going to survive that. And she does survive this ordeal. It takes quite some time for her to escape, and I don't know, the middle was a bit of a slump. It was working towards her being arrested, but you had to get enough evidence. Yeah, okay, you know, at least they got enough evidence. Good on them, I guess, instead of just throwing her away and whatever. And when she is on trial, she's in the jail, then stuff happens really, really fast, and the novel wraps up. And I thought that was an interesting choice because like 90% of the book was pretty slow, which I don't mind, but the last 10% was really fast, and she gets out, and it's really a happily ever after, and I wanted that for her. I really did want that for her. And I understand why it had to be fast, because there was some connections that you had to make, and plans needed to go fast, and escaping, you need to go fast. But did the 90% of the book need to be that slow? That's where I'm thinking through. Probably not. Probably not. Could have taken out 20 to 30 pages. Does that, and then you might say, well, does that really make a difference? I think yes, because a lot of it was just her talking to herself, or just descriptions of stuff around her, and I don't know, does it need to be there? That's where I'm coming from. Does it need to be there? Not usually, but also if there's a word count that you have to hit, then add the description of random items, and also like inner dialogue of her talking to herself. I see that a lot. It's just something that I question. And it's not just traditionally published, it's also indie and hybrid. Just people do that a lot. It does have a place. The descriptions and inner dialogue absolutely has a place, but do you need as much of it that it slows the whole book down and makes it about more like 20 to 30 pages longer, where if you cut that out, then it would, the middle would at least flow a little better into the very fast pace. We're making you do all this stuff so you can escape and have your happily ever after. So other than that, I did give it 5 out of 5 stars. The stuff that I mentioned are just quirks for me, because I've seen a lot of adding stuff in just to make a book longer, to hit word count, and that's kind of just a little annoying to me. Though it doesn't ruin the book at all. Of course it didn't ruin the book, because I gave it 5 stars. But just a quirk. Personally, just a quirk. And I definitely recommend this for anyone that is interested in the Puritan history and or just historical fiction in general. Though I do want to add another thing that I thought was weird. They're saying that it's historical fiction thriller. It is not a thriller. I'm just going to say that right now. Not a thriller. They don't have thriller beats or really tropes in the novel, and it, like I said, it's slow. And I have never heard anyone say that a good thriller that is on trend and to market is slow. No matter if it's historical fiction or contemporary or like in the future. No, never heard that before. So I don't know where they're getting that it's a thriller. Ignore that when you go on Amazon and read up on it. It's just a historical fiction novel. So don't expect that it's going to be extremely fast-paced or hit the beats of a historical thriller novel. Just getting that out there, because after I got halfway, I double-checked Amazon and I was like, why does it say thriller? This is slow. It's a slow-paced book. No. But I still enjoyed it, no matter that they put it in a historical thriller vibe. But it didn't work. It doesn't work. But so ignore that part. Just go with historical fiction. You like historical fiction and you like the 1600s era? This is the book for you. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great reading day. Bye.